ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force get perfected and efficient. All is verily the one, all-pervading, absolute Brahman. Let me never deny this truth of oneness of existence. May this truth never reject me either. May all the virtues which are necessary to experience this truth be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the oneness of the existence. By going beyond our different forms and names which generate an illusory sense of separation. Let us feel we are like ice cubes kept out in the sun. I am seeing that I am melting. My shape is going away, but the substance remains. I am gradually feeling this truth as I see all other shapes and all the names that were given just because of the shape, they are also melting. This whole universe, all that exists, is the one absolute, all-pervading Satchidananda, the existence, consciousness, bliss. In this true awareness, all those fictitious ideas about individualities, time, space, everything melts into a unified one whole. This is perfection. This is immortality. This is the source of true happiness and freedom. This is peace itself. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome after this summer break for the new session, and we shall resume our study of Svetasvatara Upanisad from this Friday. It is the 37th class today, and in previous 36 classes we read first 4 chapters, and we shall be now embarking on the study of the 5th chapter of Svetasvatara Upanishad, it has 6 chapters. So we may think that, oh, okay, we are almost near completion, and yay, I have finished the study of Svetasvatara Upanishad. But let me repeat a story that I had told here before, that this Upanishad or such spiritual literature requires study and more feeling, meditation. A spiritual evolution has to be there, and then the study of Upanishad is complete when we realize this truth, when we experience this truth, when, as previously we saw that verse, that how this study culminates. Yadatma tattvena tu brahma tattvam. When the awareness of I is now I am Brahman by I. We do not now mean a particular body. I am this and this is my name. I was born on such and such date. I weigh so much. My height is so much, and these are my capabilities and qualifications. All those ideas vanish because they pertained only to this limited field of body. Like our Tommy has put a red hat today, but then he is not red-hatted. Red hat is something he has put on, that's all. That is not his permanent characteristic. That is the characteristic of hat and not his characteristic. So, do you get it, Tommy? Yeah, so it is a description of just your hat, not of yourself. So, as the spiritual evolution happens, we get rid of all these ideas. After all, like hat, this body is nothing more than a clothing, an inner cloth, that's all. I am not that exactly as you are, neither your hat, nor your jacket, nor all the things that you have put on. So, it is when we get beyond these limitations. Now I am infinite. It is only because of body and mind that I was feeling that finiteness. So that is the realization of truth. That is the completion of the study of Svetasvatara Upanishad. So, once our very illustrated great Swami, Bhuteshananda, he was giving the classes on Upanishads in our training center. And in the beginning of the class, he told that by classes how much you learn, you know. Why this idea was there to teach Upanishads is he said long back, Swami Vivekananda told one novice, a newcomer, okay, go to the shop and buy a copy of Kathopanishad. And he had never heard that word before. So he went to the bookstores and asked he moved from one bookstore to another bookstore and asked them to give a copy of Katha Upanyas. Upanyas means a fiction, a novel is called an Upanyas. So he never knew about Upanishads. So now he said that, well, that is why it was decided, let us have the classes of Upanishads. So now after studying Upanishads, at least you will not go and ask for such things. You will at least will know the word Upanishad. So by such reading, we can hope at least that much, that Svetasvatara is name of What? Upanishad. Yeah, it is not a fiction. It is not a novel. It is Upanishad. So, at least the word Upanishad would be familiar. So, let us begin with our regular prayers. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishvavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we attain strength together. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. This is psychologically a very significant prayer, because togetherness is a step towards oneness. When you put all these different parts of say chairs, they are different. But when they are put together, they lose their separateness and we say it is a chair. So that is how the separateness is. When we take it together, it brings the sense of oneness. And so let us, Upanishad says that, we have to begin from where we are. So let us at least, as a precursor to the awareness of oneness, let us at least feel togetherness. And this Upanishad is a part of Vedas. We had discussed these things. Today we are going to just mainly do the recapitulation, because it is after about 2.5 months that we are embarking on this study again, and also it is the new chapter. And again, when it comes to such teachings, we forget very quickly. It is, we are expert in forgetting then. Many things we should forget, we don't forget. And all those things we should never forget, we forget next moment. So therefore, and it makes my job easy, Why? Because even if I keep talking the same thing over and over again, because you have already forgotten what I had spoken before, so it appears to be new. Hey, yeah, something new. So it is, but that is one reason we should now today spend some time in recapitulation. And it is not a waste. Don't think that I have studied these things before. No, it's very important, friends, to imprint on our minds again and again that what does it mean by this word Upanishad. It is that part of Vedas. Vedas are mainly divided into two parts. One is on the philosophical level, these two parts are there. One is called Karma Kanda, other is called Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda is about the worldly pursuits that a person takes up. When each of us wants to become better, improve, prosper, all these words have similar connotations. That yes, a betterment. So for betterment, according to our awareness, we go for betterness. For Swami Yogatmananda, out of his foolishness, he thinks that getting more chilies is betterment, So it is getting more chilies to eat is betterment. So each of us have their own ideas of betterment, mostly related to money. The more money, more prosperity, that's betterment. So, and people strive for that. So this part of the Vedas is for that. Okay, at least do that in a scientific way, in a proper manner. You want to prosper, you want to be happy in this world. Okay, go about it, but in a proper way, so that you will not end up in total frustration, and will keep on moving in the same cycle again and again. So at least do it in a better way, in a proper scientific way, methodical manner. So it is, that is called that part of religion. It is part of religion called Abhyudaya. That is what this Karma Kanda portion is related to, Abhyudaya. That is why in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita commentary, Shankaracharya mentions this, that Vividhoi Vedokto Dharma, that Pravrittischa Nivrittischa Abhyudaya Nishreyascha, that Abhyudaya Nishreyas. Abhyudaya is this. And then this is just gradually you go for prosperity, like a young man thinks that, okay, let me get more education. I did my matriculation, let me get a bachelor's degree. But then unless I get master's, that's not going to be, going too far. So let me get my master's. Then these days I heard that without getting PhD, you really don't get that much respect. So you can't make much money. Let me go for PhD. Then like that it goes on. Let me get a very good job. I am now PhD. Let me get a good, nice spouse. Let me have family. Let me have a big house to stay in. So all those things. But as one experiences these things, one sees that these are all transitory. They come and go. They only show the promise of happiness, but not the happiness. It is only the promises that you get. It is like the many places they promise you, but that promise never works. Like one manufacturer gave a promise that, well, this product is guaranteed. If it doesn't work, send it back. So now the product was not supposed to work. Only the money was taken, and then in the fine print it was written there that yes, you have to send the product in the original packing, which is made in such a way that as you open, it has to get torn. So first of all, you will not find the original packing. So, and then it has to be sent somewhere to China. So the cost of sending here, there it is. So that promise is not working. And then one product I was reading about it, its information on its own website, that what happens, they were candid about it, that I liked that at least that much honesty was kept. That suppose I find that this is not useful, and if I don't have this original this thing number and all that, then they said, well, this should be then treated as buyer's remorse. It is buyer's remorse. So, so this is about everything in the world. It is like that. You buy, pay high price, hope a lot from it. It is buyer's remorse. Oh, it failed to give me happiness. It promised, no doubt. It gave a big promise, but then brought more headache. That's it. More bondage, more headache. So therefore a person gets gradually introspective, that what wrong am I doing here? I am trying to become happy, And obviously, as one tries to become happy, one should become happier. But instead of that, I am getting more disappointments, more frustrations, more suffering. Why so? And thus, it that thought that what is life? Who am I? What is my relation to the world? How this world runs? It is what is the origin of all this? It thus becomes, the main question before us, and this question gives rise to what is called Upanishads or Nishrayas, that knowledge which deals with the most important fundamental questions of life as to who am I. Yes, it is understood that our body should be kept in good trim condition, it should be nourished well, it should have all that. Excellent, but what for? What is the ultimate purpose behind all this? So all these great ideas get discussed in Upanishads. So here now they see the shift of priorities. That is a sign of evolution. Just as in mental evolution you see the priorities get changed, like a child in a mind of say 2-year, 3-year old. All the world is these toys and nice things to eat, that's all. The toys are the dearest things, the dolls and the toys and all that, and they keep themselves busy with them and want more and more newer and newer toys to play with. Now as you grow up, those toys, when you were 3 years old, those toys, when you become 12 years old, those toys lose all their attraction. They just are discarded. They are given in yard sale or just thrown away. New toys come. When you evolve more, the different other objects become matters of interest. You run after them and then feel that that's all that you need to get happy. In Alaska, I had gone to that North Pole where there is the store, very well-known store of Santa. That Santa that brings these gifts of Christmas to kids. So that Santa store there is a big, enormous exhibition come store. So there one letter was like that all I want Santa in life. What a nice letter that some 3-4-year-old child is writing to Santa. All that I want in life is this particular some video game, and then I will not ask for anything else. Just this little thing I want. But how long? We also feel like that all I want in life is a good, well-behaved and nice spouse. That's it. Or a good house. What, Richard, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, that is a contradiction in term, isn't it? Okay, yeah, well, yeah. One of our devotees, the boy, now he has grown up a little, he won't ask such question anymore. But he asked this, he told his mother this, that, Mom, he saw that his mother is always telling dad what to do. If I at all marry, I will marry that girl who will not tell me what I should be doing. And his mom said, such a thing does not exist, my child. So, such a thing does not exist. So that is how you keep on, having these different ideas, but they are all seem to be useless. So you then become intent on finding solution of these things. That intent is has to become intense, intensely wanting to seek this ultimate truth in life. So intent. Look at the life of Sri Ramakrishna. That how that longing, that yearning for seeing God had occupied every bit of his life. Nothing else was worth asking for in this world. So that yearning brings us to this, the Upanishadic statements and conclusions. So therefore we shall see the first statement here, the first verse, just for recapitulation, how this Upanishad begins in its first verse. So, हरि ओम ब्रह्मवादिनो वदन्ति किं कारणं ब्रह्म कुतस्म जाता जीवामकेन क्वच संप्रतिष्ठा अधिष्ठाता केन सुखेतरेषु वर्तामहे ब्रह्मविदो व्यवस्थाम्. So, the meaning is that students of Brahman, that is, the students of Vedas, discuss amongst themselves, what is the cause? Is it Brahman? Whence are we born? Why do we live? Where is our final rest? Under whose orders we are who know the Brahman subjected to law of happiness and misery? This is the literal translation. We discussed earlier a few times the deeper meaning associated with these words. That what is Brahmavadino? As I mentioned, those who are interested in particular things, they discuss those things unendingly. Like those who are interested in stock markets, and they have nothing else to talk about, that this and that has gone up, when it is that going to, not that they have all the expertise, but the interest, and their interest is glued in that, so they keep on discussing that. So those who are interested in the ultimate truth, that is called Brahmavadin. So they do not discuss anything else. Who is going to be our next president, or are the prices of commodities going to go up or will go down, and how whether the winter will be harsher this year or not. All those things they do not talk about. They discuss Brahman, the ultimate reality. That is the only thing that they want, the only thing that they are interested. So that is how the Upanishad begins with those that, oh Hari Om. Hari Om means the name of God. That which is the Hari means, removes everything, that extracts everything, takes away everything. That is the name Hari. Hari is, it comes from the root Ri, which means to take away. Ri Harati. So it takes away everything. That reality in which we all merge ultimately. So that reality is being remembered. Hari Om Brahmavadino Vadanti. And then these questions, that how, that Kim Karanam Brahma kutasma jata, that what is ultimately the cause of all this. It is is Brahman the cause? That is one way of understanding it. Or what is this Brahman? Is that who caused it, or what is the reason behind all this? Kim karanam Brahma? Because as human beings on this plane, we are limited by this cause and effect understanding. Everything we think that has to have a cause. It is a limitation under which we are working. That is not really the nature of truth as such, but it is a human limitation. Our brains are programmed like that, that for everything we want to ask a cause. Why this happened? But if you see the psychology behind it, that is very interesting. When do we ask a question, why? Because, well, it shouldn't have happened. It is that it shouldn't have happened. So we ask cause, that why it happened. Why is this fellow behaving like this? Why? When does this question is asked, that the person should not behave normally like this? That so we seek the cause. Body is normally healthy. We don't seek the cause of the, hey, why are you healthy? Have you ever heard this question being asked? Why are you sick? Why are you unwell? That question gets asked. What has happened to you? What is the cause of your being unwell? So there the question why comes up. Because in truth, situation should not be like this. There shouldn't have been actually any multiplicity, any creation, because our inner, that urge for pleasure is the urge for oneness. We want to be one. So, therefore, the multiplicity somehow in some deep corner of our psyche is pricking us. And that is why the question, hey, where from has this appeared? Kim karanam? That it is, why is, say, the school closed today? You do not need a cause if the school is open. Well, the school has to be, that is why it is there. If it is closed, then you need some cause. Because of this and this, the school is closed today. There is vacation for the school. So, that is how the question of cause comes. It is why. It is, we ask, because there is a lurking awareness that it shouldn't be like this. It is, in one retreat, this question was asked, that why are we to repeat the mantra 108 times? Well, I told I don't really know the exact answer for this. Some explanations, astronomical, proportions, distance between the earth and the sun, and the distance between the earth and moon, or whatever, their ratio comes out to be 108. But then does it mean that it is that we should therefore repeat the mantra 108 times? Doesn't ultimately tally. What is the cause? But then one Swami told me, see, some number has to be told to you. If it is told 107, you would have asked the same question. That why 107? It is, okay, 5. Why 5? It is for any number, that question would have been answered like that. Why so? So it is, you are told to say, repeat the mantra, you repeat 100 times, but you may miss a few times or not pronounce it right in a few times. So 8 more have been added. And like when we used to buy mangoes or something in bulk, the 100 would actually mean 105, because the seller would say that maybe 1 or 2 could be bad. So the seller would put 20 in one go. Okay, 20 put one time. So then 5 into 20 would be 100. But instead of putting 20, he would put 21. So that one bad in one, it would be. So this is how 108, there is no particular reason for that. So this asking why it shows that this is not our proper, natural, unquestionably true state of existence. So then whence are we born? This question we get very often. I used to get in my childhood, where was I before I was born? I am sure many children must have gotten this question. Did you get it, Beth, when you were a little? That when, where was I at that time then? When Second World War was happening, where was I? I don't know. It is so. Whence this I came into existence, and so forth. All such questions. And who governs all this? Some administrator must be there to govern everything. We see that even a Vedanta society, a small organization, you need somebody to administer it too. So this whole universe, there has to be somebody who decides who should be happy, who should be unhappy, somebody who is happy today, why, somebody is unhappy today, why, and then it changes. That person who was happy is unhappy. So who governs all this administration? Who decides? That's Vartamahe, that it is whose orders are we who know the Brahman subjected to the law of happiness and misery. Who governs? Because we see that other fellow is happy. We get this question only when we feel misery, not when we feel happiness. That it is one lady, I remember that incident vividly, but this is not only she that asked this question. This question comes to almost everybody's mind, that when you are suffering for some reason, why me? Why me? What wrong did I do? Why I am subjected to suffering? Why others around me? Why are they not? Why I am singled out for giving suffering? Do we get this question? I have never encountered any question by any person so far, that why am I singled out to be happy while others are suffering? We don't get this question. Do you agree, Tommy? Yeah, whatever, yeah, but who governs, karma, after all? Who decides whose karma would bring happiness? Because externally people would be doing the same work and yet would be getting different sense of happiness or sufferings. So it is an intricate question. Who governs all that? And then they tried many different, answers. Tried using their mind and senses. That is given in the second verse. We are going to skip that because those answers were not satisfactory. Those answers did not solve the problem. It proved to be like this, that you are thirsty, throat is getting parched, and then you are shown that there is that water there, take it. But it turns out to be mirage. And then, well, your thirst did not get quenched. Now, these answers were, look for a bigger mirage. Will that help? That bigger mirage is not going to help. It is big lake. But only in appearance, no water there. All these answers provided by using only our external senses, which is called science. Science is that our intellect and the sense organs, that is, with that we can go up to these answers. Only they do not bring the final solution. It is like if you have a small aperture, a small hole in a closed cave, then you can see only that part of the world that is open to that small aperture. So, our sense organs, our intellect, our mind, they are opening only a very small window to reality. Although we make a big deal of it, but it is basically only that much. Our Prithvi doesn't like to agree with it. No, science has done so, all this. But yeah, it is. It is not denigrating it. It has done a great deal. But within that field only, nothing beyond. So it is when one feels convinced that this is not going to solve it, then they go into deep meditation. It is not mentioned here, but they went to a guru. They went to seek guidance, that what is the way out. And then what did they do? They meditated. So that is the most important verse in Svetasvatara Upanisad, that te dhyana yoganugata apashyan devatma shaktim swagunairnigudham yakaranani nikhilani tani kalatmayuktyani adhitishtati ekah. So this is, they went deep into meditation and discovered the underlying cause. Practicing the method of meditation, they realized that being who is the God of religion, the self of philosophy, and the energy of the science, also who exists as the self-illumination, self-luminous power in everyone, who is the source of the intellect, emotions, and will, who is the one without a second, and who presides over all the causes enumerated above, beginning with time and ending with the individual soul, and who had been incomprehensible because of the limitations of their own intellect. So this is how you, just to extend that analogy earlier, that you were looking at what is the situation outside only through a small aperture, small hole in the cave. Now how different will the view be when you come out of the cave? So we are hiding in this cave called body and mind, And through these holes called our sense organs, we are looking out and thinking that that's the world. But that is so limited. And you do not find the cause of this whole thing unless you get out of this. That is the meaning of meditation. Meditations means going beyond, transcendence, getting to our true identity by rejecting the false identities. The false identity, like I am this body, it is a false identity. I am this mind, it is also a false identity. Because these things change, how can I be that? And so, when we reject these illusory identities, then we come to the true identity. And this process is called meditation. It is not just sitting, but because one may be sitting and meditating. But only sitting does not mean meditating. It is a suitable way to begin meditation, that's all. But meditation goes far beyond just sitting and posture and all that. It is, meditating is learning to realize our true, infinite, all-pervading, ever-perfect, ever-blissful true nature. Do you get it, Naomi? Right. So that is how we should see this process of meditation. For meditation, we have to therefore see what happens. All multiplicity dissolves. At that time we had considered this nice example that it is, you must have seen kaleidoscope, kaleidoscope, and you see there is only a few glass beads and the whole universe gets made out of it. You keep on turning and you see expanding and continuously shifting that multiplicity there. It is, and children keep themselves busy for a long time with that, oh, let me see how it, and then it shifts. You tell, oh, this is exactly, see, this is the best view I have got so far, wonderful, please see. And you give it to your friend, but because of that movement it changes again. So it is, that is how this world is, continuously shifting and changing. And so this, when you take this kaleidoscope out, open it and see, all that it has is just a few glass beads. So this is the process of meditation, that go beyond this apparent, deceptive, fictitious multiplicity and see the intrinsic oneness of our true existence. And this process goes on. One begins sitting in the proper posture, meditating. That is necessary, friends. It is because initially it is very, very helpful. And we are even pre-initial stage, many of us, we therefore need to practice all these things, the proper posture, keeping the limbs straight, and if we are not able to even keep our limbs on which we have some control, if we are not able to even keep those steady, what to think, think about keeping the mind steady? It's a far cry. So at least try to keep the limbs steady first. So this is now in the second chapter. It tells about these processes, that how Tirunnatam sthapya samam shariram hridendriyani manasa sannivesha brahmodupena pratareta vidwan srotansi sarvani bhayanakani. A very beautiful verse that the body should be held straight, vertically, sitting with the head, chest and backbone in a single line, and then merging the senses and the mind in consciousness. Yeah, and this is the next step. Sit and then try for this. Merge body and senses, mind, everything in the consciousness. So, and thus, what happens? Meditating thus, holding the raft of Brahman, that becomes the raft, the boat, holding on to which then, or sitting in that boat, you cross this ocean of intense suffering. That is how this process gradually evolves. It's a gradual evolution. Immediately it doesn't happen one day. What, Charlie? Just one day listen to Swami's lecture or read some nice book and you merge in meditation. It takes some time, isn't it? To learn, practice, calm down all the thoughts. It is not something that, okay. So, it is, we all experience this, that the mind does not sit quiet at all, but gradually, as in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said that Shanai Shanai Uparamed Buddhya Dhritigrihi, that gradually, by holding your intellect, mind, senses, all, trying to control them, learn to control them, and thus things will become now automatic. While meditating, the mind will automatically be stuck with Lord. And even if you are not sitting for meditation, it still will be stuck with God. That will become the center of life. Nothing else will bother you while you are doing all other works. And yet, the center of life is God alone. So, now about the last verse that we saw before we close for the summer. Let us read that. That why is this meditative process is so important? Because the nature of reality is like that. Whatever has a shape or form or some other features that separate it from some other feature. Like we see that this Beth has a particular shape, form, this, that. So, now because of that, she is different from Naomi. If they are looking exactly alike, if they are talking exactly alike, if they are doing everything exactly alike, well, then they are not two, they are just one. There has to be a separating characteristic to say that this is this and this is that. If there is no separating characteristic, then there is no two. So, when we go beyond this, our senses and intellect, they only show these characteristics, and therefore they cannot tell us oneness. There will be always separateness here when we see through the senses. That is how our perception of this reality happens. When as you remove these senses, then you see the truth. So the senses can never reach it. natisthati. Oh my goodness, okay. Sometimes this sends a signal, it is going away. So, न सन्दृश्ये तिष्ठति रूपमस्य न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनं हृदा हृदिस्थं मनसा य एनम् एवं विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति. That it is what happened? Okay. It started again. Okay. Okay, yeah. His form does not stand within the range of the senses. No one perceives him with eye. Those who know him through the faculty of intuition, as thus seated in their heart, become immortal. To know that that is my self too, that is my reality too. Like, you see, the ocean is reality of all wave. All waves, their reality is the same one ocean. So, when just imagine, that we all are like these waves, and each of us sees what is my true substance, what is I truly am I. Then we will see that I am that ocean, I am one with everything, and thus we realize the truth. We become immortal. We do not get happiness, but we become happiness. So this is the realizing the goal of our lives, and we shall continue now from next Friday with the 5th chapter, which tells us, well, now you have to be very deeply involved in this spiritual practice. And then as you are practicing, you have to take this world as you see it, as it is real for you. You cannot just wish it away. So then you have to take this practice to get rid of it. Both are really not real. Sri Ramakrishna used to call avidya maya and vidya maya. Both are maya. One is taking us towards more bondage. One is freeing us from bondage. But there is no bondage, no freedom. Therefore, no struggle for freedom is needed. Nothing has really happened. So it is like one of our great Marathi saints says, "Agaje घडिलेची नाही त्याची वार्ता पुससी काही." That what hasn't happened at all. Why are you inquiring the details of it? The rope never became snake. You were seeing that as snake. So now how can I explain it to you how that rope became the eyes of the snake and the tongue of the snake, and how the eyes and tongue are related? Well, it is only rope which never became snake. How can you explain about it? So this is this truth thus comes out. It is the destination is beyond Maya of both kinds, but we have to take recourse to those paths. That is important. If one thorn is has pricked and gone deep, then you take another thorn and take out that pricked thorn and throw both the thorns. So that is how this process goes. We shall take it up for discussion from next Friday. Any questions about today's class? Okay, Charlie.
I just had a thought that when someone disagrees with me or disapproves of me, I tend to think that I doubt myself and think the other person's right. How can I make progress if this keeps happening to me?
Well, it is if other person, if there is a doubt, the other person might be telling truth. There is a grain of truth in that. Not that, and they to correct oneself is not a bad habit, you know.
Well,
Mm.
it's made me very open-minded because I consider all points of view.
Yeah, and all points of view, you have to see that they are right in a particular way. From that particular angle, it is right. You know that story of the governor who was told about a project, and that some said that that's the good project, very good, you are doing good job, and governor said yes, you are right. Somebody else brought a completely opposite view, that this is terrible, this will destroy this environment, this, that, wrong. Okay, you are right. Another person gave another view, or everybody was, he was telling you are right. And his wife was the hearing all this, and she said, "Hey, what is this? Tom, you are terrible, you are not consistent." And he said, okay, you are right too. So it is, it is like that. If you take it in the right spirit, they all are okay. But they are all wrong also, being one-sided. So let us, that's correct, yeah. Yeah, that's right too. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. A retreat is coming up on October 19th by Swami Ishadhyanananda, a comparatively young Swami from Vedanta Society of Sacramento, California, will be giving this retreat. So if you want to come for that retreat, please sign up for that. Actually, month of October is full of many different programs. So we can enjoy by in participating all of these. Welcome. Thank you.